Hey everyone, this is Sun in post-production. I just wanted to give a quick word. This video was a lot longer than I intended it to be. Most of these casual collector videos will be between hopefully the 3 and 10 minute mark. This one's just a tad bit longer as well. There's a lot of information that I left out, and the reason for that being I just didn't want to overfill. So in the next videos and in the coming videos, I'll be going into more information. You'll start to get a better idea of what this channel's about. Anyway, without further ado, have fun.
Hello everybody, welcome to Casual Collectors. My name is the Son of Morning. You could just call me Sun. And as you can see in front of me, we've got 4 card games. 3 you are probably intimately aware of if you know any of the big 3. We've got Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, and Magic the Gathering. The 4th one is actually a indie card game known as Gates of Amalgam, which was, cough cough, created by me. You know, we got to get a little plug in here and there, but that's not really the point. We'll get that out of focus for right now. That's not what we're doing today. Today is the introduction video on what to expect moving forward with this channel. So first off, a little bit of background on who I am. As I said, my name is Sun, and I have been playing Pokemon for, oh my god, years. I started when I was about 5 years old. My mom bought me my very first starter deck at probably around the age of 5. Had to have been about the age of 5. She bought it for me at a yard sale. My dad taught me how to play the game. Well, when I say he taught me, we learned together is the real kicker. We learned together. He didn't really know how to play either. As I grew up, we played competitively, and I'm actually now a judge for Pokemon. Though, full disclosure, I don't think I've been a judge for about a year thanks to COVID, and I think my certification ran out. So I actually need to recertify, but I have been in and judged tournaments, so I know a fair bit as well. I actually work at what you could affectionately be known as a nerd shop. So I know quite a bit about Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic and Pokemon. I'm starting to really get into sports cards as well, so we'll have all sorts of cards on this channel. I really want to also get into indie cards, but moving forward, you're probably wondering, well, why is this channel called Casual Collectors? And, well, it's pretty easy to explain. I am a collector at my core. I love collecting, whether it be cards or stuff in video games. Oh man, when producers or producers, when the developers add all the stuff into games, my God, I can't just not leave it there. I have to collect it. So as it stands right now, I'm actually collecting 83 different sets of Pokemon. Haven't really started too much with Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic. Those weren't really my thing when I was younger. Pokemon is my end-all be-all, but I really do want to start collecting and looking into Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic. I know a lot about the game concepts, but I just haven't really collected too many of the cards. But anyway, as I said, I'm collecting something around 83 different sets, starting from base set all the way up until Sun and Moon. But that's not really the point. We'll get into that later. As I said, this channel has kind of a twofold approach. There is section 1, which we're going to be doing something called card highlights. I'm probably going to come up for a better name, or maybe I'll leave it as such. Who knows? In which what we're going to do is, it'll be like a 5-minute video. We'll have a single card up. So, let's take Koga's Arbok here for a second. We'll bring the other cards back into focus here. And so what I'll do is I'll have the card out. I'll show it. I'll explain a little bit about the card, the set that it comes from, the year that it came out, and, market prices, which you will learn very quickly I have a mild issue with. Small issue with how some of these cards are priced, but that's not really the point. We'll have a market price. We'll have a Sun price, which is what I think the card should be valued at. And we'll go into a little bit of background and lore of the card if it exists. So, for example, the very first highlight card we'll be going into is the Diamond and Pearl Mantite card. There's a fun little lore behind that. Afterwards, we're actually going to be getting into Kadabra. We might even put those two together just because I love the lore between the card. I mean, those two cards are separate. Like, the Mantite doesn't affect the Kadabra. It's just more of the history behind those two cards that's a little bit interesting to me. But the second thing that we're going to be doing in this channel is sort of these educational videos in which we'll be talking about all sorts of different things going on in the collector's world. How to collect, what to collect, not so much what to collect in the sense of what will give you the most monetary value. That's something that I want to make very known on this channel. While I understand that collecting cards and opening packs and all this other jazz is really cool because you can then turn it around for a profit, this channel isn't meant for that. This channel is really meant for people who like to, rip open packs and then start putting stuff in binders and really like collecting. And there's so many different types of collecting that we'll get into moving forward. But I'm prattling on. It's not where I want to go with that. The second part of this is, as I was saying, is going to be education based, in which we're going to be talking about like what to look for while collecting, how to protect your collection, so on and so forth and stuff like that. It'll be very, as I said, education based for parents, especially with young kids who, they're seeing all these YouTube videos and they're like, oh, I want to do all of this. And the parents are like, slow your roll here for a moment. What the heck does this all mean? And I think that's just a valid and an important thing to do. But before we get into it, there are kind of a couple big questions that people ask when you start thinking about collecting. So here are kind of the big questions moving forward. And what's asked. So the first question is, why collect? The second is, what's the point? Third is, doesn't it seem like a waste of money? And the fourth being, where do you start? So I'm going to kind of attack each question on its own in just a second. Starting out with the first question, why collect? The short answer is, well, it's fun. Card collecting for me has been a staple throughout my entire life. It's been such an important part, and without it, and God, pardon the pun, it's just not in the cards for me. Why did I write that? That was so bad. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry for writing that. But anyway, why collect? And as I said, the short answer is it's fun. The long answer is it gives you something to do. It's a hobby. At the end of the day, collecting in the way that this channel wants to promote and the way that I want to promote it is it's a hobby. You get to meet so many different people. I met quite a few friends, actually. Some I'm still in contact with from when I was very young from playing Pokemon, collecting the cards. I've actually got a good buddy of mine who he went in and we kind of did some trading. It was very funny. It was a couple of days ago. A couple days ago? No, it's about a week ago. A couple weeks ago. Do not worry, everyone. Masks were on. We had a good, safe 6 feet distance, but we were in his driveway, collecting and trading cards. It was very fun. It was very fun. I'm a 22-year-old and I'm sitting here in a driveway just trading cards with my buddy. But that's not where we're going with this. The other big reason for collecting, especially this is more targeted towards parents with young children, it's a great way to bond with your kid. If it's something that the kid is really into, it's a great way to bond with them. As I had said before, my dad taught me how to play the game with him, and it really strengthened our bond. But it was, also my mom. She was the one who bought my very first starter set. She was the one who very much was like, yeah, all right, go out, go play the game. Although, to be fair, I love telling this story. She would hate the fact I do this now. The very first time she bought my first, set, or not set, stack of cards, the starter deck, she made it very clear to my dad. She goes, he's going to learn how to play the game, or he's not going to collect the cards for the pretty pictures. I love telling that story because it's so entertaining, because you tell that to other parents and they go, now that you say it, maybe. And the thing is, growing up that way, it made perfect sense to me. Pokemon was a game. Why would I collect it for just the pretty pictures? And then I started collecting them for the pretty pictures, and here we are. Sorry, Mom. Love you. I've actually already told her I'd do this, so it's totally okay. We already got the mom seal of approval on this moving forward, so all good. All good. The second, moving into that same concept, the second big question that's asked is, doesn't it seem like a waste of money? And in a short answer, again, it could be considered yes. But as with all hobbies, everything is how much you want to put into it. So when it comes to casually collecting, he said the title! When it comes to casually collecting, it really does break down into the fact that it is what you want to spend your money on. You know, everybody has a certain amount of money that they're willing to spend on something they enjoy. If you enjoy going on vacations, on cruises and whatnot, to some people, that's considered a waste of money. It genuinely is. You think that I'm kidding, but it actually is. Some people don't view going on cruises as a great spend of money, you know. Some people would rather just use that money and put it in a savings account and let it grow, right? That it is what it is. So long as you're within your means, you can do what you want with the money. And in that same vein, that is exactly what collecting is. I have a little bit, very little, disposable income that I do on a hobby that I enjoy. And it's difficult for younger kids, and I totally understand this. If you're a young kid who doesn't necessarily have that value of money, this is a great way to learn that value of money. You get to learn, okay, is this Koga's Arbok that's worth $2? I haven't actually checked the price recently. I'm not sure if that's the real price. We're just doing this for example. You know, is this Koga's Arbok for $2 really worth it? And it's super fascinating when we have parents come into the store with their kid. You know, their kid just did a bunch of chores and they want to spend their money on Pokemon packs. It's super interesting watching the gears in their head turn, going, is this $6 pack worth it? So that was a pretty long-winded answer to that second question of what's the point of collecting? Doesn't it seem like a waste of money? So yes, it can be if you don't enjoy it, right? If you don't enjoy what you're doing, then anything's a waste of money in the same way that it's a waste of time, right? To some, playing video games is a waste of time. To me, it's a fantastic pastime. But I digress. The last question that I'm going to talk about is, where do I start? Now, I recognize I actually skipped over one of the questions. One of them being, let me see, which one was it? What's the point? You know, that was the question I skipped over. It sort of goes hand in hand in why collect and why you collect. What's the point and why collecting? It's because it's fun. It's a hobby. You enjoy it. It's something that you want to do. And the last question of where do I start? Now, this is probably the second biggest question out of why collect in general. And it's where do I start? And I've been prattling on for too long in this video. I want to try to keep these things short, but this is the introduction, so we're going to keep it a little longer. I'm not going to answer this question in full. I'm going to save that for the next video, but to give you a kind of a brief TLDR, it's probably because, where do you start? What do you enjoy? Do you enjoy looking at the pictures? Is there a reason why you collect? If your reason to collect is because you're trying to make money off of it, this channel isn't going to be for that. I'm not going to really be able to help you with that, because to me, collecting is a hobby. More power to you to be able to pull that off, right? I see people, they make great money doing it, but, that's not everyone. That's actually a very small minority of people that can pull that off. This channel, in a weird way, is sort of the antithesis to that, of all those other channels out there that are like, oh my gosh, you can sell this, Charizard V Max for $400 and so on and so forth. This is kind of the antithesis to that of going, yeah, you could, or because you enjoy collecting, you want to, do something with that. But again, I digress. The point is, where do you start? And the best way to start questioning that, and that'll be the next video moving forward. The first educational video will go hand in hand with the Mantike video, and I will be looking into that idea, where do I start collecting? And so the question you should ask yourself before you watch that second video is, what do you like? Do you like the game? Do you like the pretty pictures? Do you like the lore? Those are things that you want to think about before you start collecting. If you're a sports collector, that's a whole nother avenue that I'll be talking about in the next video. I want to do all sorts of collecting here on the channel. mostly with cards, but we might branch out into other things. That'll be a little difficult. Before we end off, a lot of how this is going to be set up is either I have the card, so, if I do a thing on Koga's Arbok, I'll physically have the card and show you. Or if I don't, let's say I'm talking about the Mickey Mantle rookie card. I don't have a Mickey Mantle rookie card. Are you kidding me? I don't have one of those. So we'll that'll be done online. You'll see like photos and whatnot. But before you watch the next video, assuming it's out by the time this is out, keep that in mind. What do you like to collect? And once you have even those base idea, then the next video of where do I start will be the way to help you go forward. So with that in mind, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email them or put them in the in like a little comment section below. Hit the little subscribe bell, and may you all have a fantastic rest of your day.